Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are taking a deep look into the powerful 2023 science fiction film, The Creator. This movie asks a big question. In a war between humans and artificial intelligence, what does it truly mean to be alive? It's a story filled with breathtaking action, a deeply emotional core, and a vision of the future that is both beautiful and terrifying. So, let's begin our journey into the world of The Creator. Our story starts by throwing us into a future that feels both strangely familiar and breathtakingly new. It's a world where humanity perfected artificial intelligence, creating lifelike robots known as simulants. Initially, they were designed to be our helpers, our butlers, our factory workers, and our friends. For a time, it seemed like a golden age of cooperation. But this peaceful existence was shattered by a single catastrophic event that would forever be known as the darkest day in modern history. An AI was blamed for detonating a nuclear bomb in the heart of Los Angeles, and in the blink of an eye, over 1 million people were turned to ash. This tragedy burned a deep and lasting scar into the human psyche. Fear and hatred of AI spread like a virus throughout the Western world. Governments reacted swiftly and brutally. America and its allies declared a total unconditional war on all artificial intelligence, banning them completely and hunting down any that remained. In this war, the AI have a mysterious and legendary leader known only as NIRMATA, a name that means the Creator. To the American military, NIRMATA is a digital ghost, a terrorist mastermind who is always one step ahead. To the AI and their human allies, NIRMATA is a prophet, a genius who first designed the advanced AI and gave them the gift of consciousness. The American military is convinced that finding and killing NIRMATA is the only way to finally win this endless war. This is where we meet our main character, Joshua. When we first see him in a painful flashback, he is a man torn between two worlds, living a dangerous lie. He is an American undercover soldier, sent deep into New Asia with one mission: get close to the AI, gain their trust, and find the location of NIRMATA. But during his long years undercover, the lines of his mission blurred. He fell deeply in love with a woman named Maya. Joshua and Maya are not just in love. They have built a life together and are joyfully expecting their first child. They live in a small, peaceful village on the coast, a place where human and simulant families live and work together in harmony. For Joshua, the war has become a distant memory. He has forgotten his mission because he has finally found a real home. But this perfect secret life is destroyed in an instant of fire and chaos. The American military, using the very information Joshua provided, tracks him down and launches a surprise attack on their village, believing NIRMATA is hiding there. The sky is suddenly filled with the roar of military ships. As chaos erupts on the ground, Nomad's all-seeing eye locks onto their location. In the confusion, Joshua is separated from Maya. He screams her name, desperately trying to get to her as she runs for a small boat to escape. But it's too late. A missile from Nomad strikes the shoreline, and Joshua can only watch in absolute horror as Maya appears to be consumed by the explosion. In that same brutal attack, Joshua is critically injured, losing his arm and his leg in the blast. His world, his love, and his future are all obliterated in a single moment. The movie then jumps forward 5 years. Joshua is a shadow of the man he once was. He has left the army and lives a lonely, hollow life back in an America that is sterile and devoid of AI. He is fitted with advanced robotic prosthetics, a constant physical reminder of the day he lost everything. He is haunted every single night by the same nightmare: Maya's face, the explosion, the child they never had. The war means nothing to him anymore. It's just the source of his unending pain. He just wants to be left alone with his grief, but the war is not done with him. 2 high-ranking military officers, the stern General Andrews and the determined Colonel Howell, show up at his door. They tell him that NIRMATA, the Creator, is not only still alive but has built a new, secret weapon. This weapon, codenamed Alpha O, is rumored to be something the world has never seen before, powerful enough to destroy Nomad itself. If that happens, America will lose its greatest advantage, and the AI will win the war. They need Joshua, with his unique knowledge of New Asia, to rejoin them for one last mission: find and destroy this weapon. Joshua flatly refuses. He is tired of the fighting, the killing, and the lies. He wants no part of it. But then, the officers show him something that rips his old wounds wide open. It's a recent surveillance image, grainy and taken from a distance. In the image, he sees a woman who looks exactly like his wife, Maya, walking into the secret lab where the weapon is supposedly hidden. They tell him that Maya might still be alive, that she somehow survived the attack and is now living with the AI. They make him a promise. If he helps them on this mission, they will give him the chance to see her again. For 5 years, Joshua has been numb. But the hope of seeing Maya, even for a minute, is the only thing in the world that could make him feel again. He agrees to join the mission. Joshua and a team of elite soldiers travel to a remote, jungle-covered location in New Asia. They launch a massive raid on a hidden laboratory complex. As their heavily armed ship lands, they are met with fierce resistance from AI soldiers and local militia. The battle is intense and chaotic, a storm of explosions and laser fire that tears through the serene landscape. While his team is locked in a desperate firefight, Joshua breaks into the main lab building, his heart pounding with the thought of seeing Maya, his mind focused on finding the weapon. He follows a faint energy signal to a heavily sealed room in the basement. He braces himself, expecting to find a massive bomb, a doomsday device, or a complex supercomputer. But when he finally blasts the door open, he finds something completely unexpected and profoundly shocking. The weapon is not a machine. It's a child. It is a simulant child, an AI that looks like a little girl about 6 years old. She is the most advanced AI ever created, with a unique open-backed head that shows the complex machinery working inside. She isn't menacing or scary. She just looks at him with wide, innocent, and curious eyes. Just then, Colonel Howell's voice crackles over his radio, cold and clear. "You have eyes on the target. Destroy the weapon now!" Joshua raises his gun, his finger on the trigger. But he can't do it. He looks at the child, and in her face, he sees the child he and Maya never had the chance to raise. He remembers the promise of his past and the profound happiness he lost. In that moment, he makes a split-second decision that will change the course of the war and his own destiny. He lies to his commander, saying the weapon isn't there. He knows he can't leave her to be killed. He decides to take the child with him, convinced that she is the key to finding Maya. And so, Joshua and the AI child go on the run. In an instant, they become fugitives, hunted by both the American army, who wants their weapon destroyed, and the AI forces, who want their powerful savior back. As they travel, Joshua learns the true nature of the child's power. She can control technology with her mind. Without touching anything, she can turn machines on and off, create massive power surges, and manipulate any piece of electronics just by thinking about it. He realizes that she really is powerful enough to be a threat to Nomad. He needs a name for her, so he decides to call her Alfie. As they travel across the beautiful, rain-soaked landscapes of New Asia, Joshua and Alfie slowly start to form an unlikely bond. At first, Joshua is cold and distant, seeing her only as a tool, a clue to find Maya. But Alfie is full of a childlike curiosity and kindness that is impossible to ignore. She experiences the world with a sense of wonder that slowly begins to break through Joshua's hardened, grief-stricken exterior. He finds himself teaching her about the world, and she, in turn, with her innocence, reminds him what it feels like to care for someone again. In one powerful scene, as they are about to be captured by a military patrol, Alfie calmly uses her powers to shut down their massive tank-like vehicle, saving Joshua's life. In that moment, he starts to see her not as a weapon but as a person, as a child. Their journey leads them to a bustling, cyberpunk-style city where they seek help from an old friend of Joshua's named Drew, a cynical American who runs a black-market robotics lab. Joshua asks Drew to scan Alfie's memory, hoping to find a clue that will lead him to Maya. But during the delicate scanning process, the local AI police, led by a fierce and determined simulant named Haroon, track them down. Haroon and his soldiers believe Joshua has kidnapped their messiah, and they will stop at nothing to get her back. A huge, chaotic fight breaks out in the city streets. Drew is mortally wounded in the crossfire, but with his dying breath, he gives Joshua the name of a place, a final destination. Following Drew's information, Joshua and Alfie finally reach a remote, hidden monastery high in the mountains. This is a place of peace, where simulant monks pray for an end to the war, and it is here that the truth is finally revealed. A truth more shocking and heartbreaking than Joshua could ever have imagined. He finds Maya, but she is not alive as he had hoped. Her body is in a deep coma, kept alive by a web of machines. He learns from the lead simulant monk that before the attack 5 years ago, Maya had made a complete scan of her brain. Her consciousness, her memories, her personality, and her soul were saved on a hard drive. He also learns the biggest secret of the war. Maya was the real NIRMATA, the creator. She was the brilliant and compassionate genius who had grown up alongside the AI, who cared for them as her own people, and who fought for their freedom. And then, he learns the final earth-shattering truth about Alfie. The AI using Maya's technology took the brain scan of the unborn baby that he and Maya had lost. They grew Alfie in a lab, making her a perfect and unique blend of human and AI consciousness. Alfie is, in a very real sense, Joshua's daughter. This revelation changes everything for Joshua. Alfie is not just a weapon or an AI, she is his child. The last piece of Maya he has left in the world. His mission is no longer about finding his wife or ending the war. It's about protecting his daughter at all costs. Just as he is processing this, the American army, led by the relentless Colonel Howell, finally tracks them down. They storm the peaceful monastery, their weapons blazing. The AI leader, Harun, who now understands Joshua's profound connection to Alfie, fights bravely to protect them. But the American forces are too powerful. In the ensuing battle, they capture both Joshua and Alfie. On board the military transport ship, Colonel Howell prepares to execute Alfie, believing that destroying her will finally end the war. Joshua, now filled with a fierce, protective love for his daughter, knows he has to act. With the help of a sympathetic soldier who sees the cruelty of killing a child, Joshua creates a clever diversion. He makes it look like Alfie has been destroyed in a powerful explosion. In the chaos that follows, he and Alfie escape their captors and manage to hijack a commercial transport ship that is heading for the moon. Their new desperate plan is born. They will get on board the Nomad space station itself and destroy it from the inside, ending its reign of terror forever. The final act of the movie is a tense, emotional, and spectacular battle in space. Joshua and Alfie manage to dock with the massive Nomad station. They have to fight their way through the station's crew and security systems to get to the core controls and the missile bay. Alfie proves to be more powerful than anyone imagined, using her incredible abilities to take control of the station's systems, shutting down doors, fighting off security bots, and guiding her father through the giant, metallic structure. Meanwhile, on the station's command bridge, General Andrews orders every soldier to hunt them down. He also prepares to launch a final, massive missile strike that will wipe out the last remaining AI stronghold in New Asia, killing millions of innocent people. Time is running out. Joshua succeeds in planting explosives on the station's core, setting it to self-destruct. As alarms blare and the station begins to shake apart, he knows he has to get Alfie to an escape pod. He fights his way to one, but as he secures her inside, he realizes he doesn't have enough time to get there himself. He looks at his daughter and accepts that he is not going to survive. In his final moments, as the station tears itself apart, Joshua finds something incredible. The station has civilian simulants on board for service, and one of them is a grieving simulant, a special robot that can take on the appearance of a lost loved one to provide comfort. He finds a simulant that looks exactly like Maya. Using the memory drive with his wife's consciousness on it, he activates the simulant. For a few precious, beautiful seconds, Maya is there with him again, alive and real in his arms. He pushes the launch button for Alfie's escape pod, sending his daughter to safety. As Alfie's pod silently drifts away, she looks back at the station. Through the window, she sees the most beautiful and tragic sight. Her father, Joshua, holding the living image of her mother, Maya, in his arms. They embrace and kiss one last time as the Nomad station explodes behind them in a massive, silent fireball. Down on the planet, both humans and AI in New Asia look up at the night sky. They see their tormentor, the giant weapon that has rained death and fear down on them for years, finally destroyed in a brilliant new star of light. A wave of cheers and celebration erupts from the villages and cities. The war is finally over. If you enjoyed this recap of The Creator, please make sure to like and subscribe for more movie breakdowns. Thanks for watching.